Welcome back to 180 Days of Lang. So it finally happened. The thing I feared, I got ahead in my real life teaching of where I'm at in the lessons in these videos because I've just had life in the last couple of weeks. But this unit 3 is a real shift because we're not ever done with rhetorical analysis. There's always parts of that throughout the course, but we're done with our deep study of rhetorical analysis specifically. And in unit 3, I move into argument this time of year, this time being like mid-October. And so in this unit, we start off with actually a writing workshop. And we're not really going to get into the study of arguments specifically for a little while. But starting off with commentary is a nice bridge because students have been in a real writing zone the last couple weeks by doing their essay on one of the speeches from the American Voices collection. And then if you did the timed rhetorical analysis essay that I outlined in unit 2, that can be a big challenge for them as well, but they've had writing on the brain. So what I like to do is introduce commentary right at the start of unit 3. And the way I do that is I have a slideshow and then I have some corresponding guided notes. And by the way, if you want all of these resources, click on the link in the description and you can get all of this added to your Google Drive. It's totally editable. And then I have students just learn a little bit about what is commentary, but most importantly, what does it look and sound like? So in the slideshows, we define it a couple of different ways, whether they're writing an argument or they're writing an analysis, or like a rhetorical analysis paper, because it does function a little differently, right? In an argument essay, you're trying to make the connection between the claim that you've presented and the evidence you have to support it. And in rhetorical analysis, you are specifically wanting to push it into that and how does it advance the author's purpose and connect to their audience sort of thing. So it does sound different enough that it's worth studying as two different approaches. But students often come into class without knowing what the term commentary means. I didn't use this term. I use analysis or discussion or explanation until the College Board started putting commentary into the AP materials in 2019, the rubric, right? The big category, the 4-point category is literally called evidence and commentary. So we spend a lot of time with highlighters, and in their notes, I have these paragraphs that are color-coded, and I have students highlight the claim, the evidence, and the commentary in some sort of color key for themselves. These guided notes are actually oddly satisfying. They're very colorful throughout. But students can see right away, oh, that's evidence, that's a claim, so this is commentary. But what I want them to really focus on is the pattern. So there's not just big chunks of blue in this paragraph. There's a back and forth of blue and green, evidence and commentary. And obviously what we want them to go for is not whole sentence, whole sentence, whole sentence, whole sentence. We want woven in and broken up, right, with the quotes. But this is, at least for a lot of students, better than what they're starting with their first couple of essays, and that's fine. They look at this, and this is just a great way for them to hear some approaches to what commentary sounds like. And we do this for an argument and for rhetorical analysis. And then in the next phase of notes, students look for it in each one of these, an argument paragraph, an analysis paragraph on their own. And then I have them pair up and then compare. And then the last stage of this is that they revise and create some commentary. So they have this passage with big margins, and they have to identify where is the commentary weak and then make some notes on how to improve it. Again, another great partner activity. And then the last piece of this, which you can use for an exit ticket for the lesson, or even take it for a grade if you want to, or just talk about it as a class if you want to do neither of those things, is they can write some commentary. So I have an argument paragraph on a topic they've seen before, and then they have to just fill in the blanks with commentary sentences that would make sense to explain that evidence. So it's a bit challenging, but it's a really good exercise without having to make them write a whole other essay. So the follow-up to this lesson, which I'll get into in the next video, they're going to actually look at one of their previous essays, and they're going to do a whole workshop on fixing their commentary or improving their commentary or adding commentary if they had none at all and just had summary. So that's going to be in the next video, but that is how I start Unit 3, and that is how I introduce the concept of commentary to my AP language students. I am curious if you call it something else, or if this concept was taught to you as another term. I'm always trying to think of other ones to add to the slideshow that might resonate with them. So if there was something else you learned this concept as, please put it in the comments, and I would love to add that to my notes. Have a great day.